Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and kick off here and get started. Hello, thanks for coming. My name is Chris Light. Welcome to ACWA JPIA's webinar presenting our cyber risk management service provider, KYND. I'm a business data analyst at ACWA JPIA Member Services Department. Currently, all members in JPIA Cyber Liability Program receive this service. KYND regularly conducts non-penetrative scans on member primary and second level domains. JPIA's goal is to provide tools that will assist members in maintaining cyber coverage at affordable rates. So we would like to welcome our KYND Senior Customer Service Manager, Shelly Heflin. KYND has assigned Shelly to work directly with ACWA JPIA and the cyber liability members. So I will ask Shelly to take over. Thank you, Shelly.
Excellent. Thank you, Chris. Wonderful to meet you all. Again, my name is Shelly Heflin, and I am with KYND's customer success team. Very excited to be talking to you a little bit about KYND's offering and hopefully give you all some tools to really better improve your cybersecurity posture. Just a quick outline for today's conversation. We are going to give you just a little bit of background on KYND, the market right now, why services like KYND's are really important. And then we'll dig into the real details, which you guys care about, which are understanding the reports that we're offering you, the tools that we're providing you access to, and making sure that you know how to access and actually use those different resources. I am very excited to announce that I am joined today by a member of our cyber analyst team. Braden, if you don't mind just giving a quick hello, letting everybody know that you're on the call.
Howdy, everyone. My name is Braden Hussey. I'm a cyber risk manager here at KYND. I do a little bit of operations work along with service delivery, and I'm here to answer questions in the chat, as well as any other technical questions you guys might have at the end of the call.
Fabulous. Thank you, Braden. So as Braden mentioned, we definitely encourage questions throughout today's session. If it's something that's quick, go ahead and chat that in, and Braden will get you an immediate response. But it may be that there's a topic that he thinks might be better suited for a more thorough conversation at the end. So there may be a few questions that we hold back because we will be saving time at the end of today's call to address any questions either about the presentation or just more general about cyber risk at the end of today's call. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we are KYND. KYND specializes in cyber risk management technology and services. We are globally recognized as a cyber risk management leader, and we've been working in this particular space since 2016. Right now, our platform monitors over 300,000 organizations worldwide, and that scale really allows us to provide a more comprehensive and proactive cyber risk management, ensuring that our clients, you guys, are well protected against evolving threats, which unfortunately are always increasing. So our primary goal is to simplify the process of identifying, understanding, and managing cyber risks for organizations of all sizes across a wide range of industries. To do that, we offer a full suite of products that are designed to assess, monitor, and mitigate cyber risks so that you as users can make better informed decisions and increase your cyber resilience by accessing up-to-date insights, identifying cyber vulnerabilities via a traffic light system, which we'll look at here in just a minute, in our monthly reports. And most importantly, that we're offering all of this in jargon-free guidance that really gives you the tools that you need to resolve these issues as soon as they're identified. This slide is intended to be a little bit of shock factor, but the reality right now is that unfortunately, ransomware has been up a pretty significant amount, almost 50% between 2022 and 2023. And of those impacted organizations, 10% were organizations that were in the public sector. A ransomware attack, if your organization is impacted, can be extremely costly. It can be very time consuming, and protecting your organization by improving your overall cybersecurity posture is an extremely critical step for making sure that you have the resources that you need to really avoid any type of a situation where a ransomware attack might occur. So a little bit of a scare factor here, but we really want everyone to understand why this is so critical and why we are grateful that you're here and really taking advantage of this set of features and tools to improve your own cybersecurity postures and to make sure that you're avoiding incidents like this. So a little bit of background to get started on how KYND actually works, just to make sure that everybody here understands what our tools are doing and how they're going to be able to help you. Now, Chris mentioned in his initial spiel that we are scanning domains, and that's truly how we're getting the bulk of our information. So here at KYND, we are taking your organization's primary domain and then identifying all other domains that are in any way related. Once we've identified all of those domains and subdomains that are tied to your organization, we scan those and any other IPs, email settings, or assets that are connected to those identified domains. So a really important thing that I do want to call out is that KYND is only scanning your public facing domains, and all of the data that we are viewing and analyzing is already available to the general public. So none of our analysis will impact your internal systems. It's not going to create new information about your organization. It is truly just reporting on open source intelligence information that's already publicly available about your domain. So you can also see a list on the right, a few examples of the types of risks that we're testing for. But truly, this is a constantly evolving list. We are always adding to our list of vulnerabilities that we're scanning for and the different ways that we are trying to assess risks as they come up. So this is just kind of a little teaser of a lot of the work that we're doing to really make sure that your database results are coming back with all of the potential vulnerabilities that have been identified. Okay, so we then take that information, right, all of those scans, and we are overlaying a series of risk assessments to focus on critical areas of risk, both for you as an individual organization, but then also when we take a step back at the ACWA JPIA level. So for each of you, that means that we are creating reports that are sharing information on exposure to ransomware, identification of critical software vulnerabilities, any found email security weaknesses, and general identified cybersecurity threats. So all of that is coming to you via a report that we'll talk about here in a minute. But we are also sharing information across all of the members of the ACWA JPIA pool with the JPIA so that they have a more comprehensive portfolio analysis to view whenever it comes to how all of the member organizations are doing. So the benefit to the JPIA is then to better understand the overall state of the members and really provide additional resources as there are organizations potentially identified that could benefit from some additional support or assistance with additional security governance practices that they might want to establish. So big takeaways here are we're creating that individual level of member analysis where we're really pulling all of that data together and giving you action items for how you can address the issues that have been identified. But then we're also taking more of a summary view and providing that back to ACWA JPIA so that they do have an overview of what's happening with all of the pool's membership. So all of that to say, what are we actually giving you guys and how are you going to be able to use these tools to really help improve your own individual cybersecurity? We are providing what's called our KYND Ready service to all members of the ACWA JPIA pool. That service composes of basically 4 different elements. One of them, which we're going to do an actual demo on today, is the KYND ON portal, which is continuous cyber risk monitoring and management. So literally, it is showing you real time what issues have been identified and what are easy to use instructions on how you can resolve those issues real time as they're identified. We're also sending on a monthly basis the KYND Signals Report, and that is an overview of the top priority issues that come up. So this is really helpful as a monitoring tool to help make sure that even if you're not logging into KYND ON regularly, you're still checking out that Signals Report and getting that prioritized list of the most critical things that need to be addressed. And we also do a cyber risk call. This is available for organizations that have maybe the highest need for some of those cyber risk analysis. So that's an actual call with an expert to review internal processes. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And then you've already met Braden, but Braden is part of an amazing team of members here at KYND who are providing chat and dedicated support for members like you. So we have a dedicated email line where you can use that email to connect with our support team, but with our analyst team, to make sure that as you have questions either about these KYND resources or general questions about cybersecurity, those team members are really there to help you make sure that you understand what's going on in the industry. You have the resources that you need to be more proactive about how you're protecting yourself and your organization. So now we're going to dive into each of these just a little bit more so that you have a really clear idea of what this actually looks like. So the next time you see it, you know how to better use it. First of all, I mentioned the KYND ON platform. So again, we're going to do a demo of this here in just a bit, but this is a risk management tool that provides you with continuous monitoring and alerts for new and potential risks. So generally, this tool is probably going to be best utilized by IT managers at your organization, and it's going to allow them to see and manage all of the risks that are identified that are related with your domains. So this platform is going to give you the ability to track your overall progress, regularly monitor for threats as they come up, and then also interact with your risk profile at any time. There's some really valuable tools in here that allow you to set up email notifications so that literally you have real time information whenever there is a risk that's identified. So KYND ON is a really important platform. And one of the biggest takeaways from today's session is I'm hoping that we get everybody that's here enrolled in our KYND ON tool so that you can all start accessing this really important information. And again, using it to improve your overall cybersecurity posture. Now, the cyber risk support call I mentioned on the kind of the summary page, the intention of these calls is that they are an opportunity for a KYND analyst to review your current cybersecurity posture with you. So right now, we're targeting these calls at organizations that maybe have the highest level of risk because we're trying to provide that additional layer of support. But really, the way that we think about these calls is there's the back end view of what your internal processes are, and though that information you're sharing what your processes are through an internal security questionnaire. So the screenshot that I have here is just like kind of the summary of what that actually looks like. But a big part of these calls is having you as an organization help us understand what your practices are so that we can give you some insight based on what our understanding of industry best practices are and help you get the guidance that you need to maybe make some shifts or get the support that you need from leadership to start inserting some of those more intensive risk management practices. We are also, though, reviewing the results of your security scans. So as we're talking about these monthly reports, the analyst will also talk through those scans with you so that you kind of have a better idea of what those actionable items might be. But really, we're looking at this as a more comprehensive view where it's both the outside in and the inside out approach to make sure that you're getting a comprehensive overview of what steps you should be taking to continue to improve your current cybersecurity position. Now, again, one of the ways that we're doing that, and one of the resources that are really important for you to start keeping an eye out for, are the KYND Signals Reports. So these reports are sent on a monthly basis, and they actually focus on a narrower subset of cyber risk factors when compared to the more complete list that you're going to be able to see from your KYND ON instance. So the risk factors that are used in these KYND Signals Reports are, from our experience working directly with insurance carriers, the ones that we know that external organizations are going to be focused on with regards to their risk selection decision making as part of any type of an engagement. So ACWA JPIA has the ability to help define what criteria they want to use whenever it comes to these signals reports, so that as you're getting those reports, you're really seeing, oh, this is a red issue. This is something that I need to take care of, versus maybe this is a green issue. It's something to be aware of, but it's not a risk that might impact my ability to qualify for cyber risk insurance. So these signals reports are going to include a summary of what we call essential and advisable actions. So those are the things that are identified as red risks and amber risks, and also details on how to actually resolve them. So it's not just that we're we're notifying you of what the issue is. We're trying to put in as simple language as possible exactly what it is that you need to do to address that. Now, it's pretty small, but at the very bottom right, there's also a button in this report that allows you to get directly back to our analyst team. So as you're reviewing the report, if you have a question on something that's being suggested, or you need more information about the risk that was identified, you can also reach out to our team directly from this page. Or you can use the email that we'll talk about here in just a minute. So lots of good resources and information that are in this report. And this is truly tied to a lot of the information that we're getting from the JPIA on what they're prioritizing in terms of what are the most serious risks that are identified. Okay, this is again just as a piece of overview, really. But the JPIA is also receiving this comprehensive portfolio analysis on a monthly basis, just the same way that you guys are each receiving an individual signals report. So this is just called our signals portfolio report. It is top-down tracking that's showing all of the members and then the total red, amber, and green vulnerabilities. So ACWA JPIA is not able to see all of the issues, like what the specific details of those issues are. They're just seeing the summary view. And really, that's allowing them to connect with each of you better, especially whenever it comes to members that are at higher levels of risk. So this is not like I don't want to say it's not a report card. It's a little bit of a report card, but it's really intended to be a resource for the JPIA so that they are able to better serve you and better connect with you and provide you the resources that you need to continue to improve your position. Okay, so that's my summary spiel. This next section, I want to get into the details of how you are actually going to be accessing these things and what types of communication you should be receiving that have the resources that I've been talking about. So first of all, I mentioned that you are getting on a monthly basis this KYND Signals Report. So the KYND Signals Report is being sent to your email inbox. The very last one that went out on May 29th. The subject line for these is your monthly KYND Signals Report and KYND On. Now, I think it is extremely likely that there are probably people on this call that have not seen these emails come out, and that's probably because we don't have your correct cyber contact. So it is really important that if you are seeing this screenshot for the first time, you've never seen an email like this, you reach out to us at KYND so that we can get your information and we can start getting these reports to you, because these are really important resources and we want you to have them available as soon as they go out on a monthly basis. So I've got some information again here in a later slide, and we'll also send a follow-up to today's session with the recording of the session and the slide deck so that you have all of the different tools that you need to reach out to us, let us know who should be receiving these. We want to do everything that we can to make sure that we have the right contact listed for your organization. Okay, so real quick, this again is what that email looks like. You can see there's a couple of buttons, these purple buttons in this email. The top button is the button that says View Signals Report. And so whenever it comes to accessing the Signals Report, all you need to do is click that button in that email. That is going to populate a hosted PDF that you can then download and save so that you can start to look at a history of all those reports over time. The second button is going to be your KYND On dashboard. Now, this email does look a little bit different for users based on whether you have enrolled or you have not enrolled in KYND On. This example is if you have not yet enrolled. So what it's asking you to do is to complete your KYND On enrollment using this button. If you've already enrolled, then it's just going to be a link taking you directly to the platform. If this is the button that you're seeing, we really need your support in completing your enrollment. Very easy. We just need you to add basically your email and your name, and then that'll get your KYND On account set up, and you'll be able to access all of the great features that I am just about to show you in my demo. Okay, so this is what our KYND platform ultimately looks like if you are needing to complete enrollment. So if you were to click that button, it would actually take you to this page, which is just giving you a general welcome, asking you again to provide some key contact information, your email. It should already have the name of your organization pre-populated, and then a password. So really straightforward to get you enrolled in KYND On. And once you're enrolled, you have access to this set of tools. So this is literally going to be visibility, again, of red, amber, and green risks that have been identified, which is going to allow you to view a more comprehensive report of all of those risks. You can view your priorities, which is a more reduced list so that you really know the top things that you need to hit on first. And then also, we talked about the cyber analyst call. This is actually where you'll be able to submit your internal security questions so that KYND has a better understanding of what your internal processes are, and we can speak to those processes as part of that call. So that's the quick overview. Let's actually look at the product. So I am just going to log in here. So this, and just double checking, Braden, you're the only one I can see. Are you able to see the KYND On login page?
Yes, I can.
Beautiful, thank you so much. Okay, so I'm just gonna log in. Oh, well, it would help if I had the right password in here. Sorry about that. Okay. So this is a demo site that I've created based on the domain cats.com. So as you can see, cats.com has a lot of risks that have been identified. I am confident that none of your organizations would have nearly this many things that show up. But again, this is our KYND ON platform. So as soon as you log on, you're going to see those risks highlighted at the top. You can dive in to all of those risks, right? So we can click on that red category, and this is going to give us a list of all of the risks, well, the most critical ones first, but we can see a link showing us all of the risks if we want to see a full list. And then within each of these, if we want to better understand what this means and how to resolve it, we actually have all of the details that we need, helping us to understand what the risk itself is, and then very specific instructions on what you need to do to resolve it. You'll also notice we've got a talk to us button already embedded in the product. So if you have questions as you're reviewing this, we want you to reach out. We want to help you. We want to make sure that we're here as a resource for you. Now, this page, again, you're going to see those risks at the top. Clearly, that is the most important part of this tool. But below that, you've got access to some other resources. So the risk report is going to be a more comprehensive PDF of all this information. If it would be helpful for you to share this with a supervisor or a different leader at your organization, this is a great way to do that, to give them an actual printout that says, this is a real problem. These are the things that we need to work on. You can also set your priorities in terms of what we've identified as the most critical risks that need to be resolved. So this is a great tool to really help you identify where to start. And this is, again, going to take a lot of the same information that we're sending out in that monthly signals report, because that's really where we're trying to prioritize of all of the risks. These are the 5 that are the most critical. This is really what you need to dig into. The other thing I want to call out is the your internal security section. This is actually where those internal security questions are submitted. So with this Manage Your Risk Posture button, that's going to take you to a list of all of the different questions that we'll need you to help us provide information to, so that we can better speak to how things are really going internally at your organization. So super easy. All the tools that you need are on this main dashboard. And really, I can't highlight enough how easy it is for you to see the list, download the report if you need, understand what your top priorities are, and then again, complete that questionnaire so that we can continue to improve how we're serving you and what resources we're providing to you. Okay, so that's the demo of the product. It's very straightforward. I'm actually gonna close that out, and we're gonna transition back to our slides. I just have a couple quick slides, and then we will transition to questions. I'm sure you guys have some things you want to ask us about after seeing some of these tools. So I've mentioned a couple times that we definitely want you to reach out. This is just your reminder about how to reach out. So we do have a dedicated email just for ACWA JPIA members. That email is aquajpia@kynd.io. If you email that member at that email address, it's going to notify me and our full team of cyber analysts. So you'll have access to the full team, and we'll be able to get you the resources that you need or answer whatever questions you might have. Also, within that report, the signals report, I mentioned that there's this contact us button. That's going to connect you to a chat where you can actually talk to a KYND analyst and again, ask questions that you might have. Now, my one ask for each of you, because I think we might still be in the position of having some members where we might not have had the correct contact previously, is to please make sure that you confirm which water district you're contacting us from and who you think the current contact might have been. So if you know that you have not been receiving these reports, but you think it might have been like the finance contact at your organization, it would just be helpful for us to know who you think might have been getting these emails, so that we can potentially turn that person's email off in our system, so that they're not still getting emails that they might not be using, and we're redirecting these resources to you, who should be the correct cyber contact. So next steps, I'm giving everybody on this call homework, I'm sorry. It is so important that we make sure that we have the right email for everybody that's part of ACWA JPIA. So what I need you to do is look in your inbox, see if you have the latest signals email. And if you do, great, we'll move on to the next step. If you do not, and again, this is an email that should have landed in your inbox on May 29th, should have had that subject line of your monthly KYND signals report and KYND on. If you're not seeing that, reach out to us, please, please. Make sure you include your water district details, who you think the current cyber contact might be, even if it's not the right contact. We will get that fixed. It is so critical, though, that we have your correct contact for whoever is your best cyber resource. So please look in your inbox for that email. Now, the good news is if you do have that email, the next thing I'm going to ask you to do is to complete your KYND ON enrollment. So again, there's that second button that we saw in that email. All you have to do is just click that button, enter your name, your email address, and then that will complete your enrollment. And that will allow you to, again, have access to all these monitoring tools, to complete your internal security questionnaire, and to really start working towards being better and more on top of your cybersecurity posture. So that's my third ask for each of you, which is something that we should all be doing on a regular basis. Really keep on top of improving your overall cybersecurity posture. Review and resolve any risks that are identified. Make sure that you're completing that internal security questionnaire so that we can, again, provide information back to you on ways that you might continue to improve those processes that are currently in place. And then as you receive those monthly signals reports, make sure that you're monitoring them and using that information to always stay on top of your cybersecurity posture. Okay, so that is my bulk content here. I am going to check in with Braden and see if we've had any questions submitted via chat that he wants to discuss as a group. After we check in with him, then I'll open up the floor. You're welcome to unmute yourself and ask a question out loud, or feel free to just submit something via the chat. We'll read it out loud and address the question. Braden, is there anything that's come in that we should address?
Nothing at this time.
Okay, great. So hit us with your hard ones. We are here to help you and answer your questions.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and break the silence there, Shelley. Fantastic
Love it.
presentation. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. For all of our cyber liability program members that are on today, we appreciate your attendance. We'll let you know we will get a copy of this deck out to you all so that you have that information at your fingertips. And if questions do come up in the interim, please definitely reach out to any member of JPIA's member services team. We're happy to help as well. You have our dedicated contact email information there on the screen in front of you. And thank you, Shelley and Braden, very much.
Absolutely,
Actually, there
Jennifer.
are some, am I looking?
Oh, you're right. I do see some
I
chats that have come in.
yeah.
Yes, a few more just trickled in. Can we have more than one user for a water district? I believe you can have more than one user assigned to each KYND ON account. Just have to let us know who those are so that we can provision them access. What is the current turnover? I might ask you to clarify that, Jeff.
Well, no, I know exactly what it is. So that is a
Okay.
question that you're seeing whenever you're being asked to set up your KYND ON profile. And we are working with our colleagues in the UK. Turnover is a British term for revenue. So it's just trying to categorize your organization so that we can provide you a better idea of where you fit when compared to other similar organizations. So when you see that turnover question, and then you'll see different quantities that are all in British pounds, that's just intended to be like your organization's annual revenue. But Braden, I'm going to pass it back to you and I'll let you keep going through questions if that's okay.
Yeah. Is KYND lining up their vulnerabilities with cyber insurer? Yes, that is my understanding. The way that the KYND platform works is we overlay the risk categorization strategy based on what was purchased, and that is with respect to insurance and best common cyber practices. Are we required to sign up for this platform? I don't think that is my place to answer. Shelley, why don't you take that one?
You know what? I'm actually going to toss this back to either Jennifer or Chris. This is a resource that ACWA JPIA has offered to members. I don't know that it's necessarily a requirement, but Chris or Jennifer, does one of you want to speak on your opinion on whether or not this is necessary?
Thanks, Shelley. I'll jump in. So no, it is definitely not a requirement. It's highly encouraged. As you heard Braden reference earlier, that the entire purpose of JPIA providing KYND service is such that our staff is able to demonstrate to our carriers at each renewal as we go out on your behalf and try to secure the most beneficial rate structure, that we are doing our due diligence to ensure that protections are in place. And so while not a requirement, strongly encouraged, because I will also share that our insurers, current insurer, previous insurers, and I am certain any future, are conducting their own scans and looking at things as well from their own perspective. So the more that we can demonstrate that our members are taking matters into our own hands, the better.
Yep. And Jennifer, there's actually a question that came in from Leslie that I think piggybacks really nicely here. Is this going to improve or worsen our liability premiums?
So with respect to, I will narrow that down to cyber liability because that is separate from the general liability. So the goal is that it helps improve both the rates and obviously resulting premiums, because when we can demonstrate again to our carriers that we are practicing excellent risk management to improve the potential for any losses, it absolutely should improve coverage and rates.
Excellent, thank you. Any other questions from the group? Absolutely, happy to do it.
All right, well, Shelley and Braden, again, on behalf of JPIA, we appreciate your time.
Absolutely, thank you guys, and please let us know how we can help.
Yeah, thanks, Shelley. And we are planning on sending out a recording link to the participants that showed up today and making that available also in the JPIA website or portal. Thanks, Shelley. Thanks, Braden.
Fantastic. Thanks, Chris.
Of course.
Have a good one.
You all have a wonderful rest of your day.